The virtual CISO moment is brought to you by vCISO Services. vCISO Services' mission and calling is to provide quality cybersecurity and information security consulting and expertise for small and mid-sized businesses. While they are a leading provider of qualified and experienced virtual CISOs, they offer much more. Check them out at vcisoservices.com. Greg Schaefer, and welcome to the Virtual CISO Moment Wrap Up for Friday, May 12th, 2023. Start out from Bleeping Computer WordPress Elementor plugin bug. That's tough to say. Let attackers hijack accounts on 1 million sites. Now, one of WordPress's most popular Elementor plugins, Essential Add-ons for Elementor, was found to be vulnerable to an unauthenticated privilege escalation that could allow remote attacks to gain administrators' rights to the site. Essential Add-ons for Elementor is a library of 90 extensions for the Elementor page builder used by over 1 million WordPress sites. Now, this flaw, which PatchStack discovered on May 8th, 2023, is tracked as CVE 2023-32243 and is an unauthenticated privilege escalation vulnerability on the plugin passwords reset functionality impacting versions 5.4.0 to 5.7.1. Now, by exploiting this flaw, it is possible to reset the password of any user as long as we know their username, thus being able to reset the password of the administrator and log on to their account. This reads PatchStack's bulletin on it. The bulletin continues, this vulnerability occurs because this password reset function does not validate a password reset key and instead directly changes the password of the given user. Ouch. Now, the consequences of this flaw are significant and include unauthorized access to private information, website defacement or deletion, malware distribution to visitors, and brand repercussions such as loss of trust and legal compliance issues. Now, while remote attackers do not need to authenticate to exploit the CVE, they need to know at least a username on the system that they are targeting for the malicious password reset. Ransomware group tries and fails to extort security vendor Dragos, this according to Infosecurity magazine. A cybercrime group that managed to compromise the cloud-based resources of cybersecurity vendor tried to extort the company by threatening their family members, the company has revealed. Now, operational technology security specialist Dragos said that it was hit on May 8th after threat actors compromised the email account of a new sales employee prior to their start date. They subsequently used the employee's personal information to impersonate them and complete some basic onboarding, according to the vendor's report on the incident. This got them as far as access to the company's SharePoint account and contract management system, but no further. However, after failing to deploy a ransomware payload or steal more sensitive information, the group apparently resorted to trying to extort Dragos executives to avoid public disclosure. Although no Dragos contact responded, the group repeatedly tried to up the pressure, contacting multiple publicly known Dragos employees and trying to use knowledge of family members to force a response. Bad. Quote from the report, the cyber criminals' texts demonstrated research into family details as they knew names of family members of Dragos executives, which is known as TTP. However, they referenced fictitious email addresses for those family members, the report noted. And we'll be right back in 30 seconds after a message from our sponsor, Bitdefender. Bitdefender provides cybersecurity solutions with leading security, efficacy, performance, and ease of use to small and medium businesses, mid-market enterprises, and consumers. Guided by a vision to be the world's most trusted cybersecurity solutions provider, Bitdefender is committed to defending organizations and individuals around the globe against cyber attacks to transform and improve their digital experience. And definitely please check out the Bitdefender link. It helps us keep this podcast going for you. Security Affairs reports that the frontman of the alternative rock band Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan, revealed that he paid a ransom after the hacker stole the band's songs and threatened to release them. The hacker stole some of the most important songs from the band's three-part rock opera, Atom, before the launch of the market planned for May 5th, 2023. This leak could have had dramatic impact on the promotion and sales of the band's album. For this reason, Corgan opted to pay the ransom. The FBI investigated the case. According to Corgan, the hacker also stole similar material from other unnamed artists, so we may hear a little bit more about this as time goes on. And I thought Napster was bad in the day. Kaspersky brings us new ransomware trends in 2023. This is from their Secure List blog. Ransomware keeps making headlines. In a quest for profits, attackers target all types of organizations, from healthcare and educational institutions to service providers and industrial enterprises, affecting almost every aspect of our lives. In 2022, Kaspersky Solutions detected over 74.2 million attempted ransomware attacks, which was about 20% more than 2021, which was at 61.7 million. Although early 2023 saw a slight decline in the number of ransomware attacks, they were more sophisticated and better targeted. On the eve of Global Anti-Ransomware Day, I'm not sure exactly when that was. It was last week, I think. Kaspersky looks back on the events that shaped the ransomware landscape in 2022, reviews the trends that were predicted last year, and discusses emerging trends and makes a forecast for the immediate future. So they start out with the three trends from last year. Number one, threat actors trying to develop cross-platform ransomware to be as adaptive as possible. Number two, the ransomware ecosystem evolving and becoming even more industrialized. And number three, ransomware gangs taking sides in the geopolitical conflict. Now for 2023, they predict trend number one, more embedded functionality. Self-propagation has been adopted by many notorious ransomware groups lately, which suggests that this trend will continue. Number two, driver abuse. Now this trend of driver abuse continues to evolve. The latest case reported by Kaspersky is rather odd, as it does not fit either of the two previous categories. Legitimate code signing certificates such as NVIDIA's leaked certificate and Kuwait Telecom Company certificate were used to sign a malicious driver, which was then used in wiper attacks against Albanian organizations. Now, the wiper used the raw disk driver to get direct access to the hard drive. Okay. Number three, the code adoption from other families to attract even more affiliates. Major ransomware gangs are borrowing capabilities from either leaked code or code purchased from other cyber criminals, which may improve the functionality of their own malware. HelpNet Security says that Bitdefender, who is a sponsor of this program, unveils app anomaly detection to detect malicious activity in Android apps. Bitdefender has unveiled app anomaly detection, the real-time behavior-based protection layer available now in Bitdefender Mobile Security for Android that continuously detects anomalous and malicious behavior in Android applications as it emerges. The number of malicious and compromised Android applications available for download in popular app stores continues to grow as cyber criminal groups increasingly leverage the malware as a service, MaaS model, because we like acronyms. Bitdefender research identified dozens of Android applications totaling millions of downloads in the Google Play Store in the last year alone that turned malicious after users installed them, with some acting as delivery mechanisms for mobile banking Trojans that steal users' logon credentials. Bitdefender App Anomaly Detection is a technology integrated into the Bitdefender malware scanner to provide an additional layer of protection by continuously monitoring and detecting any malicious behaviors and alerting the user if suspicious activities are identified. Designed to help safeguard Android mobile users' data, financial assets, and other things, and identities from fake and malicious applications, App Anomaly Detection protects users from known and unknown, otherwise known as zero-day, attacks that result in financial loss, account takeover, and identity fraud. From ARS Tech Nika, 1.5 crypto scheme leads to 2-year prison term for ex-Coinbase manager. This 10-month insider trading scheme was a huge mistake, quote, the ex-Coinbase employee says. So a little bit more details here. Well, that's about it. We have the rest of the article on the show notes. We are missing the rest of our wording here. And then the last thing that we have here that's a little bit before our list is that I wanted to mention is that SANS has a small business cybersecurity summit coming up next Wednesday. The link is in the show notes. It looks pretty interesting. And of course, small businesses are a huge threat. There is no such thing as being too small to be noticeable by attackers. So within the ad for this, and you can actually get CPEs apparently for it as well too, which is very important for keeping your certifications that you work so hard for going. Top 5 reasons to attend the summit. Number 1, in-depth technical talks focused on the latest skills and techniques. Number 2, interactive panel discussions from industry experts. Number 3, networking with leading experts and your peers, tackling the same hard-to-solve problems. Number 4, access to summit recordings and presentations. And then finally, number 5, earn, there we go, 6 CPE credits for attending. So check that out. Looks like a good deal. And then finally got a list to bring y'all again. I know it's been a little while since I've had a list that I thought was useful. You could almost say I have 2 lists because we just did one for the top 5 reasons to attend the SANS Summit. But this list comes to us from Bleeping Computer. It is the top 5 password cracking techniques used by hackers. See if we agree or if we have any opinions. So going down through the article here, in no particular order, I guess the first one is brute forcing. Sometimes, the article says, the only way to find a password is to simply attempt every possible combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. If the password is random, many other techniques make the job easier. To make the job easier may not work. It's the least efficient, but may be the only option when everything fails. Now, they do have a little chart here. So this is based on the 2023 Hive report, how long passwords with lowercase and uppercase letters versus more complex passwords take to crack. So this is just lower and uppercase for 8 characters, 22 minutes. If it's complex, 8 characters, 8 hours. Then we go to the bottom if it's just lower and uppercase letters. And mind you, this is using today's computing power. If it's 12 characters and just lower and uppercase letters, 300 years. If it's complex, 12 characters, 34,000 years. So use complex passwords, at least 12 characters, unless you plan to be around for more than 34,000 years. Number 2 is the rainbow table. This is basically a table of lists of pre-computed password hashes that a stolen hash can be compared against. Instead of generating a new hash for every variation, you just look up the stolen hash against the table to see if it matches. It's been around for a long time. Number 3, dictionary attack. This is common words and phrases that people may use, such as Titans 1. No, that is not my password. It's Titans 1, exclamation point. Just kidding. But this, as they say, it leads to choosing passwords like that, which makes the job of cracking a lot easier, particularly if you know something about your target. In other words, are you a Titans fan? Well, maybe I should try some variations of Titans in your password. Kind of missing football, I guess. Number 4, credential stuffing. Users commonly use the same root password across multiple devices. This is true, not necessarily a good idea. If one password is broken on the surface, an attacker can easily and quickly try the same password or variations on other services to which the user may have access. They'll try that cracked password on multiple different accounts and can result in compromise. And then finally, weak or insecure password hashes. Of course, not all password hashing schemes are created equal. As technology evolves, what was once considered secure may no longer be so. So that's why we don't recommend folks having in effect anymore hash algorithms like MD5 or SHA-1. Those can be cracked relatively easily whereas back in the old days, they weren't so easy to crack. And that is it for today. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday with the Quick Strike, catching up on everything that may or may not have happened during the weekend. And until then, stay secure.